Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. So, tonight's story is a little different. It's not something we read online or heard from a friend. This happened to us in our own home just a few weeks ago. And honestly, we're still trying to process it. As you know, we have a 1-year-old son, Leo. He's our entire world. Like most new parents, we have a baby monitor in his room. It's one of those fancy ones with night vision and two-way audio. It gives us peace of mind. Or at least it used to. The night it happened started out completely normal. We put Leo to bed around 8 p.m. Did our usual routine bath, Bog, lullaby, and he drifted off to sleep without a fuss. My husband, Mark, and I settled down on the couch to watch a movie. We had the monitor on the coffee table. As always, the screen was dark. The audio was silent. Just the faint sound of his little breaths. It was a perfect, quiet evening. Around 11 p.m., the movie ended, and we were getting ready for bed. I glanced at the monitor one last time. Everything looked peaceful. Leo was snuggled up with his little stuffed bear. We turned off the lights and went to sleep, not knowing our sense of security was about to be completely shattered. I woke up at what felt like the dead of night. You know that feeling when you're not sure if you heard something or just dreamed it? That was me. I sat up in bed, listening. The house was silent. Mark was fast asleep next to me. I reached for my phone on the nightstand to check the time. It was 3:17 a.m. Just as I was about to lie back down, a sound came from the baby monitor. It was a whisper. It was so faint, I thought I was imagining it. I picked up the parent unit and turned the volume all the way up. I held it to my ear, my heart starting to pound in my chest. And then I heard it again, clearer. This time, it was a soft, melodic voice, but it wasn't mine. And it wasn't Mark's. It was whispering something I couldn't quite make out. It sounded like a lullaby, but the words were foreign, unfamiliar. My blood ran cold. My first thought was that the monitor had somehow picked up a signal from a neighbor's device. It happens, right? Cross-frequency interference or something. I was trying to rationalize it, trying to find a logical explanation. I gently shook Mark awake. "Mark," I whispered, "listen to this." He groggily took the monitor from me. As he held it to his ear, his eyes shot wide open. He heard it too. "What is that?" he mouthed, his face pale in the dim light from the hallway. We both stared at the monitor screen. The night vision showed Leo's room, grainy and gray. He was sleeping soundly, completely still. But the whispering continued. It was constant now. A gentle, rhythmic murmur. We couldn't understand the words, but the tone was soothing. It was deeply unsettling. Who was in our son's room? We were frozen for a moment, torn between blind panic and the need to protect our child. Mark was the first to move. He grabbed the heavy flashlight we keep by the bed and slid out of the room, motioning for me to stay put and watch the monitor. My eyes were glued to the small screen. I watched as the door to Leo's room, which was barely visible in the corner of the monitor's view, remained shut. No one was going in or out, yet the whispering persisted, clear as day through the speaker. My hands were trembling as I watched my son's sleeping form. Then I saw something that made my heart stop. A shadow moved on the wall behind Leo's crib. It wasn't his shadow. It was elongated, slender. It seemed to sway, as if someone were standing there, rocking gently. I wanted to scream for Mark, but my throat was tight with fear. And then, the most terrifying thing happened. From the edge of the screen, a hand slowly entered the frame. It was pale and long-fingered. It wasn't Mark's hand. It wasn't mine. It moved with an impossible grace, reaching over the crib railing. I watched in absolute horror as this hand, gently, almost lovingly, stroked Leo's hair. It brushed his bangs from his forehead, lingered for a second, and then retreated back out of the camera's view. My son didn't even stir. He just slept on, peacefully. At that exact moment, I heard Mark's footsteps racing back down the hall. He burst into our bedroom, his face a mask of confusion and fear. "There's no one there," he said, out of breath. "The doors are all locked. Windows are shut. I checked the whole house. There's nobody." I just pointed a shaking finger at the monitor. He looked at the screen. 10 bake me. The whispering had stopped. The room was silent again, except for the sound of our own frantic breathing. We have the footage saved. The monitor records clips when it detects motion or sound. We've watched it 100 times since that night, and every time, it chills us to the bone. The clear sound of the whispering voice, the shadow on the wall, and that hand reaching out for our son. We've had paranormal investigators, spiritual advisors, you name it. No one can give us a definitive answer. Some say it was a guardian spirit, a protective entity, given the gentle nature of the touch and the soothing tone of the whispers. Others have suggested something far more sinister, a presence that was testing its boundaries. We just don't know. We moved Leo into our room that night, and he hasn't slept in his nursery since. We're actually in the process of moving. We just can't stay in that house anymore. I know it sounds unbelievable. Part of me still tries to find a logical explanation, a glitch in the system, a reflection, anything. But we saw what we saw, and we heard what we heard. Being a parent means protecting your child from all harm. But how do you protect them from something you can't see or understand? It's the most helpless feeling in the world. We wanted to share this story with you all, maybe to see if anyone else has ever experienced something similar. It's a terrifying reminder that some things just can't be explained. Thank you so much for listening to our story. It means a lot to be able to share this. If you have any thoughts, please leave them in the comments below. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing for more content. Stay safe, everyone.